Put your hands up. Ladies and put your hands up. Welcome. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Yeah, I'm a witness for the Lord. I'm gonna sing these crazy praises till I'm gone. I might do a little dancing cause the Bible lets me know that that ain't wrong. I sing my praises to the King because he's worthy and he's seated on the throne. Anytime you wanna talk about his power and his mercy, let me know. Oh, I'ma sing these crazy praises till I'm gone. Oh, I'ma sing these crazy praises all day long.
What's going on, Alpha Raiders? James the Win here with the Alpha Red Comic Channel. It is 8 o'clock on a Sunday. That means we pick up our pencil. That means we do some drawing. So I appreciate anybody who's popping in and joining me for some Megatron drawing, some Transformer love. So hang on a second. I'm so prepared. Thank you. I'm so prepared. I forgot all my tools downstairs. And I did not bring it up with me. So I had to scream downstairs right after I hit the intro. I don't have any of my pens. You know, yay me. Hang on, let's turn on some Alpha Red theme music. Hang on, let me see if I can hear it. Can you hear it? All right. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. And Brother Ernest in the house. Appreciate you. Let's go, Alpha Raiders. That's what I'm saying. Speaking of Alpha Red and the Alpha Red Army, known as the Alpha Raiders, give you some let me see, preview. No, don't do this. Take this down. Why is this not doing this? There we go. And then I'll share this. All right. That way I can Brother Funk's in the house. Greetings again from Shanghai, China. I think Ernest, Brother Funk is moving to Shanghai, China. He keeps streaming from there. So this is a sketch cover that I'm doing. I don't know if I was trying to keep it coy and a secret, but I'm going to be drawing certain images that I'm going to use in the comic in Alpha Red number 9, but I'll be drawing them as sketch covers, and then when I Photoshop them, I'll scan them in and then Photoshop them onto the page so that people might be inclined to pick up a sketch cover with the image on there, knowing that the images are used inside of Alpha Red number 9. That's just something that I thought would be fun for you guys. And if you're here for previews of Alpha Red number 9, this here is page 1 in all its goodness. Won't say too much about it. This is page 2. I did do a little bit of storytelling changes, so I moved these 2 panels over. When I drew this first panel, I was like, oh, that's going to confuse people. It's not going to, the story's not going to flow well. So I moved this over here and then moved these guys over. So rest assured that Alpha Red number 9 is on the drawing table. Speaking of sketch covers, I still have 4 more of these Alpha Red number 8. I ordered them in 5s, and I'll just fill them with Alpha Red sketches if you guys don't order them, and then I'll either give them away as prizes, or I will sell them at homeschool conventions and whatnot. So they're just fun to have around, and they're limited, very, very limited. So there's 5 of those. I did have someone order a sketch, which I have downstairs, which I started putting together all the campaign stuff, and I didn't realize I signed them all. I don't know if you guys saw the live that I put on Facebook and on Substack, where I'm signing all the books. But then I forgot that I wanted to number all the books too, and I started putting them all in the bags and ready to ship out to you guys as soon as I get the large print order, the regular edition, on Wednesday. And I failed to number all the individual exclusive covers, so I have to unbag them all, number them all. It's going to be such a mess. I'm so mad at myself for doing it that way. Anyway, I'm just going to have to start over. It's probably the easiest way to do it. Number everything and then start over. But anyway, you're not here to listen to me whine. You're here to say hello to one another. Brother Fong from Mr. Ernest. What time is it, Fong? Fong says it is 8 a.m. in Shanghai, China. That is wicked early for a draw stream, but I am glad you're here, brother. Glad you are here, and you are looking at today's subject, Mr. Megatron himself. It's over, Prime. I can hear the voice. I can hear the voice. Brother Fong, do you know the voice actor of Megatron? If there's anyone here who would know it, it would be you. So we're counting on you, Brother Fong, to educate us on the voice actor's name. You can simply Google it, I'm sure. Do you have full access to the internet in Shanghai, China? Or do they throw you in Shanghai, China jail if you try to access the internet without a VPN? Just questions that people in the free country of the United States would like to know. Was it this one? I'm trying to keep the circles as legit as possible, because it does sell the illusion the best if you're doing parts of the Transformers and you're doing and if you don't, if the straight lines are not straight on some parts of it, on the mechanical stuff, it really kind of throws off the realism, if there is realism, to our robots in disguise. Our robots in disguise. I used to think they said robots in the skies, like they're flying robots. And I decided that it didn't matter if they're saying in the skies or in disguise. I liked it both ways. So one of them is wrong, but neither one of them is wrong. I know it's disguise, but I like the thought of flying robots. So how was your week? Is it getting warmer where you guys are at? We had some outstanding weather this week. And then today, it was snowing as I went for my daily walk. So snow is back in central New York, friends. It is unkind. The weather likes to tease us. We saw the guys spraying the chemtrails in the skies the other day. We're like, get out of here. And sure enough, it got cloudy, and but it was still beautiful yesterday. We had clouds, but it weren't too bad. Yesterday. Brother Fong says, let me get down here. I was originally supposed to fly back this past Saturday, but the factory here didn't finish testing my product. So I extended my business trip for another whole week. What is your lovely wife gonna do? I remember talking with my family when I lived in Guam. Night and day difference for sure. A nice thing is my wife came with me during my business trip. She doesn't. You don't have to miss the wifey. We will go to Shanghai Disneyland this Saturday. Nice. Way to make it a bad thing, a good thing. Frank Welker is the voice actor. Now, did you have to Google that, or did you know that off the top of your head, Phone? The only way I can watch this draw stream is with a VPN. Haha. Frank Welker also voiced Soundwave. Really? Did sound like with a? Did he like make the voice, or did he just like speak into one of those echo thing? Megatron. Frank Welker also voiced Soundwave as well as Freddy from Scooby-Doo. Okay, wow. That is some range. Mr. Frank Welker's got some range. He is a prolific voice actor with an impressive resume of work, I'll say. It was raining when we first got to Shanghai, but the past weekend, this week's weather was great. I thought it was the same robots in the skies. Hey, it's okay. They were flying, you know, and we're okay to be wrong because we were teeny tiny guys and we didn't care. Robots in disguise. But yeah. So what else, guys? Did you pick up this? Did anybody pick up this issue of Transformers? So the fill-in artist Lullaby. I really like his style. I don't know, like I'm torn. I picked up his Ghost Pepper from Image, and such good stuff. The only complaint is his storytelling, which is it's kind of annoying when you don't know what's going on from one panel to the next. And that would be my only complaint. It looks beautiful, but his storytelling could use a little bit of love. Like spend the time to walk me from one panel to the next. Give me enough clues from one panel to the next. You don't have to give me a cartoon kind of cell by cell kind of thing, but it would be nice if he did a little bit better on the storytelling. And actually I stopped picking up Ghost Pepper because of that reason, because I couldn't really, and it's a terrible reason to stop picking it up, but because I couldn't tell what was going on from panel to panel, it was easy for me to like, I don't know what's going on, so I'm not going to pick up the next issue. Very sad to say. But let's see if I can make this work here. Can I make this work? I want it to be it's got to be small to sell the perspective here. Got to sell this perspective, and it's got to be kind of in line with all of this. So the peak of the arc has to be like right there. That's a little bit of guessing whether or not that is going to be the correct angle. But whoever picks this up is going to give me the grace because I'm doing it live. All right, that's enough with the circle template. We'll do a little bit of should we do straight lines? Like I don't want to be that guy doing all the straight lines for this style, because I do appreciate the way that Daniel Warren Johnson kind of did it, where it was much more organic looking, and it really kind of reminded me of how they did it in the cartoon, where the leg here would bend. There was lots of bendy things that were not like a three-dimensional schematic blueprint type of drawing of robots. It had an organic vibe to it, which I appreciated. And so Mr. Daniel Warren Johnson did a good job of capturing that energy. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use the as I play up the benefits of it, I'm using the actual ruler. What I'm going to do is, for certain parts of it, I'm going to use the straight line, and then when I get to the thicker lines of it, I will freehand it to make it look a little bit more organic. So, Brother Funk says, the wife and I went to People Square to check out the Shanghai marriage market, where parents bring their kids' profiles to try to set them up with one another. It was pretty intense, I'll say. We were just talking to our kids about, picking their mates and stuff. My daughter's 23. I have a 21-year-old son and an 18-year-old son. We're going through a dating book with them. And they're like, how do you know? Like, how do you find a mate? But that sounds like like a way, I guess. I didn't have to Google it. I already knew Frank Welker was Megatron's voice. It's over, Prime. They had to run his voice through a vocal synthesizer for Soundwave. Yeah, that's what it sounded like. He also did Galvatron's voice in the TV show, but Leonard Nimoy did Galvatron's voice in the movie. Nice. Such heroic nonsense. Happy Sunday, Alpha Raiders. What's going on, Brother Benny? In the house. Brother Benny in the house. All right. The gang is here. Gang is filing in. Alpha Raiders are filing in. I appreciate you guys. Coming, hanging out with me to start off the week, end the weekend, and start off the week. That's how we do it. I like the goodness. There was my copy. Where's my copy? This is the sketch copy. I like the cover. I don't have it handy. I don't have the actual cover. This is the A cover, and no, this is not the A cover. Who did the A cover? I guess maybe he did the A cover. But I like the Pi Par cover, and so I like the style. I forget why I was going to talk about it. This Lulo Lullaby guy does make the characters a little bit more organic than I'm used to, and it's a great slick style, but it doesn't bring back the nostalgic vibes like however Daniel Warren Johnson was doing it to help me connect it. That's not the vibes that I get with Ludo's drawing. Slick as it is. Let's see. Patrick Daniel in the house. Let's see. I always love Frank Welker as Dark Side. Do you say Dark Seed or Dark Side? Seed with a like plants, or side like a sidearm. In the old Super Friends cartoons. Okay, he did Dark Side too. Dark Seed. I used to say Dark Seed, but I think they pronounce it Dark Side. And hey everyone, Alpha Raider Patrick reporting for duty. Thank you for showing up, guys. Childhood trauma flashback. Megatron said that right before he shot Ironhide, point blank in, like right in his head. Right, they showed his head, and then they pan up, and then he shoots him. Oh yes, every time I read Darkseid and the comic, I hear Frank Welker's voice for him. I don't remember the voice for Darkseid. Megatron! What's going on, Mike? Mike Lord from the Comic Relief Crusader. Thank you for joining us. thank you, guys, for joining me on a lovely Sunday evening. Megatron. Yeah, I'm gonna just kind of pick up. Actually, I did pick up a bunch of sketch covers because I'm obsessed. I think I've confessed here that it makes me feel like I have a connection with the contents of the book, even though I don't have a connection to the contents of the book. And if it's a Transformer book or something that is nostalgic to me, I feel like I can be a part of the magic that's happening inside the book. So I did pick up. I stopped in at a comic book store in the Buffalo area, and he had a bunch of sketch covers from the IDW versions of The Mask, G.I. Joe, ROM. I'm excited to do ROM, Transformers, and this was like a crossover. This Revolution was a crossover, and it was like the drawings are good, but the Transformer designs are bad, and the storytelling is bad. I started reading it, couldn't wrap my head around it. Honestly, it was such a jumbled mess. I didn't know who anybody was, so I stopped. Plus, it was in the middle of the week. I was traveling, and whenever I travel, I don't have as much time to catch up on emails and stuff. So I get backlogged on emails. So I started reading it, and I was like, I don't have time to read and reread and look at the pictures to figure out exactly what is going on. So a lot of people don't like drawing Transformers because of all the perspective and stuff. But thankfully, I feel like I've got a good handle on all that perspective stuff. It's not always right, and thankfully, most people don't notice if it's a little bit wrong. So, but I would love to get a chance to draw an issue or two of Transformers, like legit. So yeah, I am obsessed with these sketch covers. I just wish I had more time. And then, of course, I have sketch covers of Alpha Red that I have that I like. I like kind of practicing some poses and things, Alpha Red poses, and then they turn out so well that I want to use them for as panels. And because nobody really picks up the original art, I'm just gonna use the sketch cover images of Alpha Red as panels. So when you pick up a sketch cover of Alpha Red, maybe you're picking up an interior image that I've used, that I have photoshopped in. All right. Let me do these couple of lines, and then I'll jump up and see if I missed anything from you guys. Whoop. Happy accidents. Yeah, so the sketch covers that I got from this place in Buffalo, they're not in the best condition. You know, you get a bunch of spine ticks and stuff, but I feel like the people give it a little bit of grace as far as the condition of the book, just because the artist has to handle it a little bit more. And so you're going to get some spine ticks here and there. Here or there. Here or there. I forget if like all the details of the Megatron. Let's see. Mike says, and some who work and help develop third-party transformers, I approve. Oh, you help develop third-party transformers? I did not know that. I don't even know what that means, actually. I did the box art on some of them. You did the box art on some transformers? Are you serious? That's awesome. There's a reason why Hasbro didn't renew the Transformers with IDW. It was really bad at the end. It looks very confusing. Let me show you. Let me show you Optimus Prime, which should be a slam dunk, right? Just keep Optimus the same. You don't have to mess with the Optimus Prime. You can do a little bit. I was like, what's going on with his stomach? Optimus Prime's stomach. Like, here's Soundwave. Like, he just looks like random mech thing, random blue purple mech thing. But like, Optimus Prime's stomach. I'm like, that's not his stomach. Like, even his chest, they turned it into like the Michael Bay like silver, the thing with the rain hoods, and then they put like an Autobot symbol in the middle. I'm like, no, it's supposed to be his pecs, and the design in his stomach thing is supposed to be his stomach muscles that are the grill of the truck. It's just like, why can't, and even his face, they did like extra stuff. He looks more Batman-ish. Like the antennas are so long. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the long-eared Batman. Even Rom, they updated his look. Like, goodness, not everything needs an update. And maybe it's Hasbro that forced some of these changes. But like, bruh, no need. Skybound's doing a better job overall, for sure. I agree. So far, Mr. Lorber is a little skeptical, I would say. Anyway, dinner time later, bro. Have a great dinner. I think Mike is more in the central time or something. I don't know. I do believe he is a little behind us on time. So not as behind as Fong. 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning over there in Shanghai, in China. Oh, too funny. So what do you guys think of the Marvel layoffs? It was in the studios and in the comic book division. Are they going to let me rent Spider-Man or Daredevil? Can I do a team up? Is it going to be easier for me to say how much would it cost for me to rent Spider-Man or the X-Men so that I can draw Alpha Red teaming up with my favorite superheroes growing up? How cool would that be? Be sick. I would lose my mind. If I had the opportunity to do it on my terms, of course. I don't need the storylines that they currently have to ruin the fun. But it would be fantastic. Yes. No, I didn't know that Lover, Mike from the Comic Relief Crusader, did some toy art for them. That's kind of cool. I mean, that's kind of like the work I did for Upper Deck when I did the Marvel Masterpiece cards. Felt like you were able to put something on your resume that people recognize. Makes all the difference. It does. It does. I think I would do an issue of a Marvel comic, a Marvel or DC comic, just so that I can go to a comic convention and go, oh, this is My Little Pony artist James Nguyen. A little bit of legitimacy, because people just, they want that like proof of approval, like a real company approved your artwork, so that they'll pay for the picture that you drew that is just as good or better than the professional, the so-called professional, who got paid like nothing to draw an issue of Spider-Man or whatever. So maybe I'll get paid that nothing so that I can get paid more for sketch covers and convention sketches. The social proof that's needed with that credential next to or behind your name or whatever. Brother Funk says, ooh, I've got a good story idea for Alpha Red battling Mephisto to restore Spider-Man's marriage to Mary Jane. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. I think a lot of people will tune in to be happy to just see it. Somebody was saying like that was one of the suggestions to undo everything. Just have Mephisto, like somebody go back in time and make it Mephisto who screwed everybody up, screwed everybody's timeline, made everybody lame and stupid, and broke up marriages and things like that. And somebody destroys him, and then it automatically resets the clock back to like late 90s, early 2000s, when they were still selling decent amount of comics. So what do you guys think? You like the line work here where I'm using a ruler? Obviously I kind of sketched it out by hand, but with the idea in mind that the perspective kind of is meant to look a little bit more dynamic and work. God, I'll make it work. Anybody checking out the Daredevil? The D+ Daredevil Born Again? Is it as bad as people who are watching it are saying? Apparently not a lot of people are watching it, or they're waiting for the final episodes to drop so that they can binge the whole thing. I remember the first thing I binged was the Netflix Voltron. I couldn't believe how good it was. It was like it had just enough from the design and the stories of like the old stuff mixed with like anime, manga, anime quality animation. I was just like, I thought when I saw the trailer for it, I really thought that I was going to be bothered by the 3D rendering of Voltron, because it wasn't going to feel as organic as the original 80s cartoon. But because of the story, because of the writing and stuff, it didn't even matter. That first season, I was just like obsessed. I immediately shared it with my kids and stuff. And then when they did what they did to Shiro, we had to reject. We did end up watching it, but I was able to censor it. I was able to download it and then censor all the parts that didn't need to be in there, in my humble opinion. Why would you add that nonsense to a kid's cartoon? Brother Funk says Marvel's only hope at this point is for Avengers Doomsday to be a hit. I don't know if they're going to make any money. It can be a hit. It can make $1 billion, but they still won't make any money because they'll spend $1.5 billion to make the billion. It's going to be like comic books. It's going to be like making comic books. Brother Patrick says it looks great. It's looking great. Thank you. Yeah, I like it. Still waiting to see Jessica Jones. Okay. Very good. Very good. Better yet, have Freddie Jones pull off Mephisto's mask at the end and and reveal it was Tom Reboot, the whole who screwed everything up. Yes. Voltron Legendary Defender was a great show. I had to binge the last 3 seasons before they pulled it from Netflix. They pulled it from Netflix? I thought Netflix made it. I thought they owned it. I didn't realize that they could pull it off. I thought it was made for Netflix. It was very, very good, for sure. Definitely didn't need all the Shiro stuff, and then the 2 alien girls. They tried to make that a thing, but they only talked about it until the very last couple of seconds of the whole show. They showed them kissing. I was like, bro, Shiro used to be my favorite. Nope, no purse. So in the edited version, the censored version that I showed my kids, it just stopped with, I think it was it Lance that they showed, who had become a whatever the princess was. That was a surprise that she went for him. Woo-hoo. That was shocker. Yeah, I think all these rulered lines don't look as bad as I thought they might. So do you think if I sent this to Robert Kirkman, he would give me a fill-in issue? Come on, man. I'll send him a copy of the sketch cover and some Alpha Red and say, what's up? You need somebody? You need a fill-in artist? I'm not drawing Alita, though. No, Alita. I don't know how to draw her. So I forgot. I was doing a little some reference research a little bit before I got on, just to see what Megatron looked like, because all the renderings of him look a little bit different with every person who draws it, and then Ludo here draws him just a little bit different in every frame. It seems like he got a little bit of Robert Liefeld disease, and with every panel, he draws it slightly different, Megatron. And so I was doing some research and was reminded that Megatron's pelvis area is the trigger to the gun. I was like, That is very inappropriate. What were they thinking? Like the actual trigger is like right where his privates are. I'm like, bruh, what? Somebody was either wasn't thinking or they were just having too much fun. Like, we're going to make these kids pull this trigger. Not right. That's not right, guys. No, I can't wait for you guys to start seeing more Alpha Red pages. I've got working on page 3. Obviously, I've got pages 1 and 2 done. Somebody did ask me to do 2 pages of another comic, and I'm tempted to, just because I haven't drawn anything for anybody else in a long time, and they were asking as a favor for somebody else, and I like the other somebody else too. So see, I can do straight lines without a ruler, sort of. I'm sure I've told the story here before, but when I met Jim Lee in Baltimore, in I believe it was like 2010, 2011, something like that. Got a chance to meet him with a bunch of other creators, like newbie creators. And we were talking to him about his drawing process. We had no idea what the experience was going to be like. So we just had about an hour with him, just able to ask him whatever questions. And somebody asked him, whether or not he whether or not he liked using a ruler to draw all of the buildings and stuff. Does it take a lot of time or something like that? And just with a straight face, he's like, I don't use a ruler. And everybody's jaw dropped. I was like, you don't use a ruler? And this is right around the time where I want to say Batman and Robin, the Frank Miller, Jim Lee Batman and Robin series, the more mature, like Elseworlds kind of telling of the story, had just come out, and there were just like lots of buildings, like the cover, the Batman cover and the Robin cover, had they shared the same background. They put the background over top of 2 of them, the both of them. But just like, I was just aghast. I was like, what do you mean you don't use a ruler? And he's like, no, I haven't used a ruler in decades. We were like, you draw a lot of buildings. Those lines are pretty straight. Like, so I assume that he doesn't use a ruler, but maybe Scott Williams does. That's what I'm thinking. And I've seen his pencils, and the buildings look very, very straight. So very impressive if he's not using a ruler when he's doing those. But who knows if Scott Williams is using a ruler to finish him up, right? Because it just seems impossible. Doesn't seem human for him to be able to do that. All those buildings without a ruler. Boo, 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 boo. Let me see. But Funk says, well, Megatron was originally from a Japanese toy line called Microman. So these Japanese toy designers was probably drunk with sake when drawing him up. Faux show. Megatron was actually one of the few Transformers action figures I remember having. I never had any of the bigger figures. I had like, you know, the cliff jumpers and the bumblebees and, you know, like the ones that transformed the same. You know, you just pop the arms out and you pulled the legs, pulled the hood out, and they were just like plastic chunks that were holding on. But no, I never had the big boys, anything that required real transforming. So I remember that my brother stole some Dinobots from some kids down the street from us, and we grew up very poor, and this was like in the hood. And my brother was not known for being a straight and narrow kind of guy, but a kid owed him money. He used to sell drugs, and a kid owed him money. So, and this kid was not going to give him the money that he owed him. So when he wasn't looking, he stole his Transformers, and but he didn't like Transformers, so he came home and gave them to me. So, but there was like a sticky arm, like his arm was kind of broken, and I was playing with him outside. I don't know why I insisted on playing with him outside, and the kid rode by, and he's like, "Hey, is that mine?" I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about," and I knew that they were stolen. And he said, does the arm stick? And I was like, no. And I did the best I could to push the arm in and out as fast as it could go. And it did not stick, but it did stick. It was a sticky arm. Like something was broken inside, that it was not transforming smoothly. And the kid rode off, and I ran inside, and I never played with it outside again. But yeah, as a poor child, you don't get good toys, and so you don't ask too many questions when you get good toys. Plus, I was a bad kid. I used to steal from a friend of mine who was also an artist. I should look him up. I want to see if he still draws. He was there were 3 of us artists in grade school, and he was one of them. I was probably the second. I was known as the second best, but I did this kind of stuff, whereas the kid who did the best was like a real artist. His dad was like a graphic designer, so he could draw portraits and all kinds of stuff. But John Bircher, the kid I used to steal G.I. Joes from, he was the 3rd artist. He did not get as much recognition as Frank and I. Frank Hummel was the best artist in our class, and John Bircher was the kid who was the 3rd best. All right, getting close to bringing out the bigger inking pen. And whoa, I just dropped my ruler. That's a sign that we're not going to use the ruler anymore. I could just bend over and pick it up, but we're not going to. We're just going to take it as a sign from here on out. It's big, fast strokes. that will create the illusion of straightness. And then I'll have to recreate that same line with the bigger ink pen, the fatter ink pen. Patrick says, Alpha Raiders don't need no stinking rulers. That's right. That's right. That's right. Alpha Raiders don't need no stinking rulers. Come on. All right. We got to make this, the lines in his blaster come out as if the perspective was like right down here. Boy, sure would be nice to have a ruler to kind of guide those lines. I gotta remind myself where there we go. There we go. I'm not gonna promise that I won't go back and use a ruler to make sure that looks a little bit more legit. More legit. All right, let's grab the other thicker pen and add some contrast. We're gonna go a little, we're gonna drop a shadow here, as if the light is coming from the top, as you do, to sell that there is a light source. And that just brings out the three-dimensionalness of the things, all the things. And then we'll probably come in with like a brush pen and kind of deepen that stuff right there. There, see, so I'm using the direction of the line also to kind of dictate where the shadows, the direction of the shadows and whatnot. Sell that perspective a little bit more. Sell that perspective. And then even with like in any direction that the body parts, the robot body parts go, I just use the directionalness. Oh, I almost forgot the Decepticon symbol. Where is my pencil? My pencil. Gotta pull out a pencil. Make sure I get that Decepticon symbol right there. I'm gonna see if I can remember it in my head, and then I'll flip through the book and see how close I got. Got the robot eyeballs there, and then these little lines, little horns, always kind of look like a robot face to me, like the little robot eyeballs there. Just remember there being a little triangle in the little middle floaty thing. See how close we got. See, there's a little triangle, little stripes. Close enough. Close enough. We're going to ink that bad boy. That bad boy. No more rulers. No more rulers. No kings. No kings. Do you mean no kings or no rulers? The spirit of Jim Lee just tossed your ruler away. For sure. To be the man, you got to beat the man. So you have to do better than Jim Lee without a ruler. Yep. I'll if it means I can have his millions, I will beat the man. I'll beat the man. No ruler. No more stinking rulers. That was supposed to be no more wire hangers from the Mommy Dearest. I don't think I ever watched the whole thing of Mommy Dearest. It seemed a little violent. But I don't know how I know so much about that movie. Was it popular? Was it like a maxi series? Was it like an all-week movie like they used to have in the 80s? Remember those in the 80s? They had movies like Shogun and what's that other one with who's that guy, Robert something, who turned out to be gay, but he was like in every he was like every woman, every like leading man thing in the 80s. I can't but they were like maxi series, if I'm remembering correctly. Mommy Dearest. No more wire hangers. Seemed like a nut job. Faye Dunaway playing another Faye lady. I don't know. Let's see, the eyes were a little bit different than I thought. All right, the eyes were a little bit. You guys know what I'm talking about? The Mommy Dearest. I don't know who the actual actress was. Faye Dunaway, I believe, is the actress who played the actress who mistreated her children's. All right, let's go in here with some directional shading. Now we're just gonna like cut over here because his arm right here is gonna cast a shadow down here. We want to sell that as a like the randomness of the angle of the shadow is meant to legitimize the shoulder up here, and we leave that little space so that we hint that there's some texture right there, like a divot. And we'll continue with the directional shading as if the line work were kind of like what do they call it? It's kind of coming up this way, perspective wise. Like this line, this part of the forearm is closer than this part of the forearm. So this line down here is shorter to signify that it's farther away. And so if you put the spaces evenly together, they would be closer down here and farther apart up here. So it spreads out a little bit. Just for anyone who's struggling with how to make it visually work. So we're gonna do the same thing like we did up here, where his thigh kind of casts a shadow over his calf here. Just kind of making that up as I do. Sometimes you just see it in your head and you try it. And if it doesn't work, you don't talk about it. You stop talking about it. We call it a happy accident, or we ignore it altogether. Like that thing didn't quite work, so we're not going to highlight that. Not going to highlight that. I think my idea here was also that the shadow was coming down this way. So in order to sell that this was like a design element here, he's got, like a mechanical like thing. I'm going to go more straight down with this to kind of sell that the light source is coming down this way. Then we'll go right up to that line for the design element of like that door or that metal piece. And then when we go down here, we don't go all the way up to that line, so that we're trying to sell that there is that seam in between the metal. I don't know if that works, but we're just not going to talk about it anymore. If we stop talking about it, we won't have to decide if it's a good visual representation of what I was trying to do. Come on. All right, let's go back to that big thick line. I think we can thicken up all the lines and then call it a finished piece. All right, so going back, and I'm intentionally not just tracing over the line, but I'm trying to intentionally make it bigger, thicker, so that it stands out. And I know I haven't said it in a while, but like that pushes the other lines back. Like the lines that I'm not going to thicken are going to look like more details. More like details or elements that help to sell the texture, adds texture, or just visually less boring. And then, that's how you make certain things pop out a little bit more. Like his gun's going to pop out a little bit more if you add a big old thick bold line around it. And then when I go back in and like I'll put these X lines right here where I'll make those intentionally just solid black, and that will make the thing pop out, the gun pop out a little bit more. Forgot if I'm gonna sell the drop shadow there, then there's gonna have a shadow for the gun right there. And then we'll just highlight his fist right here. Not his fingers, just like the whole shape of his fist. And then the fingers can kind of be the details that kind of sell you on the realness of the details inside. Whereas the big thicker lines just kind of help your brain separate the form. Like he's going to have this form, but all these little angles and stuff in between there can just be the details, the stuff that you don't focus on. Like it just sinks back into the background, and it tells your brain what is important and what you're supposed to focus in on. And then it just automatically makes it look more real, in my humble opinion. Because your brain it wants to decide what is the most important thing. And if it's the head, it's the head. It's not all these things, all these lines that tell you what the perspective of the shape is. But the big forms, the ones that are supposed to pop out, I put the big old line on, the thicker line, so that you can tell that it's not the same piece of his form. See, like this front piece, this Darth Vader type piece is supposed to be sticking out a little bit more. And I'm going to add some directional shading line to kind of notate that it kind of sinks back from the other stuff. I want to make sure that kind of stands out from the side things that he's got going on. And then his underwear trigger. Don't pull that trigger for more than one reason. I have many more inappropriate directions to go with the don't pull that trigger. But we'll just keep it family friendly. We'll keep it family friendly. Keep it that way. For all of time. For all of time. Same thing with this down here. Give this some directional shading here. Spending too much time on the trigger here. Get you guys all triggered. Let's just add some lines. I'm sure when I drew that in pencil, it meant something. Let me see. Yeah. So Funk says, wait, doesn't Megatron have the barrel of his gun sticking up from his back? Ah, yes. You caught that. You caught that. Should I not use a ruler for this? All right, we're just going to wing it, guys. We're just going to wing it. No ruler. Take that, Jim Lee. Take that, Mr. Jim Lee. No ruler. And we'll do the shadow of that barrel. Kabamski, huh? Good call. Good call, Mr. Fung. I don't know if I would have caught that. I would have erased it, and then I would have been mad that I didn't catch that. Good catch. Patrick says, looks awesome. I can hear him screaming, Prime. One shall stand and one shall fall. Why throw away your life so recklessly? This is great. I can hear it. I can hear it. That's a question you should be asking yourself, Megatron. Nice. Jay Scott in the house. What's up, James? Happy Sunday, everyone. And the drawing looks awesome. Thank you. Thank you, brother Jay Scott, for being in the house. Alpha Raiders are in the house. Yeah. No, I'm glad you caught that, Brother Funk. Coming in clutch. Don't miss that detail. Kapow. Kapow. So what do you do for work there, Fung? I guess I don't know what you do. You always talk about ministry stuff, so like your job takes you to Shanghai, China. It's kind of wild to me. I I don't foresee my job ever taking me to Shanghai, China. I'm a mere humble insurance salesman. I am a traveling salesman, but I have a territory that does not include other countries. I mean, depends on what you sell. I guess I could sell insurance overseas. I have been asked whether or not I would cover buildings and properties and things like that overseas, because the ministries that we insure have some international things sometimes. Not often, but sometimes. Sometimes. And I don't go to China. I've never been to China. I did sign up to go to a homeschool convention in Fort Worth, Texas. Fort Worth, Texas. Next April. Goodness. It was so new. I don't they just announced it, so I went ahead and ordered it just in case it was so popular that the price would go up or it would sell out before I came to my senses and decided to go. I'd rather pay for it now and maybe transfer, if I can't make it work, transfer the money for the table to one of their other conventions. So I'm pretty excited about that. Excited. See if I missed anything. Ernest says he's a man of mystery. I must have missed something. I'm a product engineer. Fun. He's a man of mystery. I'm a product engineer for a semiconductor company. We do manufacturing in China. In China. All right. Yeah. It's all kinds of jobs out there, I guess. Just, they tell you that, being a lawyer or a doctor or something is the only worthy thing that makes you money or whatever. And then you grow up and you don't know very many people who actually do that. Well, I didn't. I do now. There's a lot of doctors at my church. We're very close to Upstate Medical here in Syracuse, which is I don't know. I think it's a nationally or internationally recognized medical system. I'm not into the medical system, but a lot of people say good things about Upstate Medical. So now I know a lot of doctors and a lot of med students who come to my church. But I remember I was helping out with the youth at a previous church, and somebody asked me what I did for a living. And at the time, I was working for a trucking company. I was working in OS&D, which is overages, shortages, and damages. So if anybody damaged anything or lost any freight, I would have to call up the customer and said, hey, we lost it or we destroyed your shipment. And here is what your options are. And so when I told them that, they're like, wow, when did you know you wanted to do that? I didn't even know the job existed. Okay. So the kids, I was like, I never wanted to be this. I didn't know the job existed. I just knew that I wanted to provide for my family, and somebody offered me the job. I was just a dock worker. I was just a simple dock worker. And they said, you make a little bit more money if you go into management and do this. And so I went into management doing that. And just I think they were like, between 14 and 18. They're like, when did you know you wanted to be an OS&D supervisor? Never. Is that what you went to school for? No, I didn't. I did a couple of semesters of college and dropped out. And I was making, I was making ice cream. That was a job that I had. And so it's just an engineer. I didn't even know what an engineer did, to be honest with you. But I think I would have enjoyed doing engineering. I didn't have the discipline for the schoolwork, though. All right, guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me on a Sunday to end the weekend. I hope your week goes well. I hope the weather is getting better. Fong, I hope you have safe travels home after your Shanghai Disney excursion. And the update with Alpha Red number 8 is that the exclusive comics are in, and the large print run, the regular edition print run, is due in by Wednesday. And so I'm hoping to have them all in the mail by Thursday or Friday, Saturday at the latest. And so you guys will have the comics in your hands, hopefully by next week sometime. And that is going to do it. Guys, thank you. I'm going to see if I missed anything. Let me see. Brother Funk says, China is closed for missionary work, but they do have international churches for expats who live and work here. That's awesome. J. Scott says that came out really good. Maybe a coloring stream for it? Maybe. It's not going to take much to color it. I thought that maybe I'd finish it so fast that I could do it, but it took a little bit longer than I expected. And I like the ink to dry a little bit before I go and erase it, because I have smudged many a good picture because I was too eager to erase. So I give it like an hour. I'll probably be up in time to give it the erase. And maybe tomorrow, maybe sometime this week, I'll come in for a quick, 15-minute coloring stream. All right, that's a good idea, though. I appreciate the suggestion, J. Scott. Brother Funk says, it's closed for missions, but open for business, of course. Trying to see how God can use business as an entry for missions when countries don't allow missionaries in. Amen to that. I know a lot of people, my uncle on my wife's side, they did an international school, but they were really there as missionaries. So they sneak in wherever they can to talk about the gospel. So, hey, we got to do what we got to do, right? So, guys, I appreciate you hanging out. And until next week, grace, peace, maybe a stream in between for the coloring. All right, guys.
From the shadows he rises with courage in his heart, a beacon of hope. He's ready to start with faith as his armor and a fire in his soul. Alpha Red stands tall, fulfilling his role. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. Red. Full of chaos, where evil may lurk, he fights for the righteous, his mission and work. Guided by God, with strength from above, he battles the darkness with unyielding love. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red, Alpha Red. skies. We'll see his bright star with a prayer and a promise. He faces the fight, Alpha Red shines through. The beacon of light, Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. So stand tall with courage, let your faith lead the way. With Alpha Red beside us, we'll see a brighter day. For evil may tremble, but never forget, the world is protected by our hero, Alpha Red. Alpha Red. Alpha Red.